Today we're exposing how corporations weaponize social guilt to make you pay the wages that they won't. Why am I being asked to tip a machine for work when I just did it myself? Who's this tip for, the motherboard? I don't remember applying for this job as a self-checkout clerk, and I never got a W-2. There's a calculated reason why your heart rate spikes when the glowing tip prompt appears at the self-checkout kiosk. It's called digital panhandling, a psychological trap designed to exploit your social friction for profit. We're dissecting how big tech is turning your guilt into unpaid data entry and corporate subsidies. Welcome to 2026, where Silicon Audacity has officially reached a breaking point at the checkout line. We're being guilt-tripped by automated kiosks demanding gratuities for zero human labor performed. It's time to confront the uncomfortable truth behind these screens and why clicking no feels like a social crime. So here's the simple breakdown. Companies facing rising costs like wages, benefits, inflation, regulations keep base pay low, often at or near the tipping minimum wage like $2.13 an hour federally, and let customer guilt, social pressure, and slick tech prompts fill the gap. Customers effectively subsidize the payroll. The business saves on labor expenses without raising prices overtly or boosting salaries, while still pocketing full revenue from the base transaction. It's efficient cost shifting dressed up as appreciation for service. That comes from Washington Monthly. The evolution of the old physical tip jar to the digital prompt.
So let me ask you a question about the tip cup. I go to drop $1 in the tip jar, and just as I'm about to drop it in, he looks the other way. So then, as I'm leaving, he gives me a look like, thanks for nothing.
You remember the old physical tip jar on the counter? You could drop $1 or nothing in it, and after grabbing your coffee, no judgment baked in, no mandatory screen. It was optional, discreet, and between you and the counter person. Enter the digital era, accelerated by contactless payments in the pandemic, such as tablets, kiosks, and POS systems, now shove prompts in your face at checkouts with suggested amounts, often 20 to 30%. It's no longer passive, it's engineered.
If they don't notice it, what's the point?
Studies and observations show that these smart tipping features reliably boost average tips compared to cash jars because of social pressure, default bias, and the awkwardness of hitting no tip in front of the employee or a line. What was voluntary extra for good service became a near mandatory add-on for basic functionality. The burden of compensating workers shifts further onto the customer, letting corporations maintain staffing model and sub-market base wages. Now, that's from the BBC. So you tap 25% on the iPad for the barista who just handed you a latte. Where does that actually go? Often there's a zero clear breakdown at the point of sale. Is it pooled? Does the company take a cut for processing? How much reaches the specific worker who served you versus corporate overhead or other staff? Digital systems promise convenience and tracking, but in practice, many customers report opacity. Tips get aggregated, fees skimmed by processors, and distribution follows internal policies that aren't displayed. The prompt creates an emotional link to the worker right here, but the money flows into a black box that rarely offers real-time, worker-specific transparency. This erodes trust while sustaining the flow of funds. So what's next in this saga? Soon your self-checkout robot will guilt-trip you with an animated sad emoji face if you skip the 18% support our AI overlords tip, while the company writes off the whole fleet as green tech and pockets the data harvest. We'll be tipping our Roombas for not eating the cat, and corporations will call it empowering emotional labor for the metaverse. Classic human ingenuity, turning thanks for the service into a billion-dollar pressure valve. Keep your wallets and your sarcasm handy, folks.
And I always take care of my paisano, so here's a little something.
Antonio! Sì! Vieni qua! Questa miserabile!